What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Midwest Slamcast. I'm your host, Ryan Bretsch. A little bit about myself, just really quick before we get into the episode. I'm the guitarist and main writer slash producer for the band Zeal. We're out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Uh, yeah, and I'm just trying to start this podcast to shine a light on our Midwest scene. I've been involved with the scene for over 10 years now, and I just think there's a lot of really special people involved in our scene, and I think that we should shine a light on that. So yeah. And it seems like everybody I talk to about it is pretty is pretty down for it. Like nobody else is doing some type of format like this. Talking to the people in our scene long form like this with this type of like production value. So I figured let's do it. This is all run out of Bretsch Productions, my studio here in Waukesha. I do recording, mixing, mastering, and some light videography. Just mainly with the videography stuff. I just mainly want to do like studio stuff. But yeah, a shameless plug here. If anybody watching this, if you're living in the Southwest Wisconsin, or no, Southwest, what am I talking about? Southeast Wisconsin area, and you're looking to get some recording done, hit me up. I'm always looking to expand my repertoire here. Yeah, so just hit me up, bretchproductions@gmail.com. Let me know if you want to record something. My first guest is Errors of Humanity. I fucking love these dudes. They're awesome dudes. Tyler and I always have a good time whenever we talk together. And this is actually my first time meeting Kieran, but it was a good time. It was a good chat. I'm still learning to get over the nerves of being on camera and recording and stuff like that, recording myself talking and stuff like that. But I think as time goes on, I'll get a little bit better. But yeah, other than that, I will say, speaking of learning as we go here, I did forget to turn my phantom power on my mic during the interview, so I actually had to go through and cut through the camera audio on the episode so we could make it work. But you know what? It's my first episode, so I'm gonna let that pass. And I think it sounded all right, but you know what? You be the judge. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments if you think it sucked. All right. Well, yeah. Without further ado, here's Errors of Humanity on the Midwest Slamcast. Oh, and one other thing. We're also playing a show this Saturday, January 13th, 2024 at X-Ray Arcade. Errors of Humanity is headlining, and my band Zeal is opening. And yeah, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you're not sure what you're doing tomorrow, well, I'm shooting for getting this released on Friday, but come on out to X-Ray, and I'll post the ticket link in the comments below on YouTube. So all right, check that out. Thanks.
What's going on, guys?
Yo, man.
Thanks for doing this.
Dude, thank you for having us. Happy to be here.
So, how you guys feeling today?
Dude, just dandy. We've got a little bit of a break here before we're playing any shows again. We had a pretty long stretch of a lot of gigs for a minute, so it's nice being able to just like do real life a little bit, hang out. I just got some baby kittens, so we're just hanging out, lounging around with those guys, picking up messes and whatnot. But yeah, it's been nice chilling.
You bought two kittens. Fucking stumbling. But.
No, you're fucking. So I grew up on a farm, and there's like a ton of stray cats hanging out there, and a couple of them, like my parents will like let in the house and whatever, and get them a little domesticated, but then like let them back outside, whatever. They just have little, kitty parties once in a while. They'll just like have them come in and feed them and whatever, cuddle up with them. And I was over there visiting one day, and then two of the cats came right up to me and started climbing on my shoulders, and I was like, oh my God, I can't like not take these things home. And I was like thinking I might get one cat, but then they both were just like all over me, and they're from the same litter. I'm like, all right, you got me. Two of them. All right. So yeah, now I'm a cat dad. Life's good.
Yeah, I just recently became a puppy dad. So
nice. Yeah, Jackson is adorable.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, he's super cute. It's been interesting for sure.
I can imagine. Yeah, pet ownership is no joke. But
oh yeah. Do you have any animals?
I have 5 cats.
Oh, nice.
Dude, my guy's got a zoo at his place.
I fucking love cats. I have 5 cats. But most of them come from the same litter, too. Like, we have a 15-year-old cat who's old as shit, and then mom and dad cat. And then Lorna, who's the mom, had a litter of kitten of 7. We kept 2, and we gave 5 away to, like, friends and family, but I couldn't separate all the siblings, so fucking 5 cats.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yep. And then Dane also has a ton of random pets. He's got rats and cats. And
Dwarf hamsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you actually pull that a little closer to your mouth?
Is that better?
Yeah, you could probably actually, like...
There we go.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
All right. Well, awesome. You guys want to do, like, a quick little, like intro yourselves? Like, kind of tell, like, your backstory, like, where you're from, like...
For sure. I'm Tyler. I play guitar in Heirs of Humanity and Auraborn. I also work as a mixing assistant at No Passenger Studio with my good buddy Spencer Fox. I'm originally from a town called Brillion, Wisconsin. It's a little south of Green Bay, and yeah, got my musical start there and been booling around ever since. So that's my TLDR. Go ahead, Kieran.
All right. I'm Kieran. I am the vocalist of Heirs of Humanity. I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Still live there with 5 fucking cats.
What bands were you guys in before Heirs of Humanity?
So I got my start with my band. Wow. If you want to go way back.
Yeah, let's go way back.
Let's go way back. Okay, my first band ever.
The lore.
Yeah, here comes the lore. My first band ever was called Empty Threat, which is kind of a badass name looking back.
Empty Threat?
Empty Threat.
Threat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I like that.
Yeah, dude. But we were a cover band, and we did like the most random set of songs ever. We did like a little Metallica. We did System of a Down. What else did we do? We did like Incubus. We did some Avenged Sevenfold. It was a lot of like early 2000s rock and metal kind of stuff, but then we'd trickle in like some grunge. I think we did like a Nirvana song or something like that. So that was my first band ever. And then me and Devin, the drummer from Empty Threat, started our next band, Disgust for Your Kind, which eventually came to be Immortalis. And we rounded up a couple other dudes. We got Alex, the rhythm guitarist of Auraborn, in the mix. And this all happened when we were like 15, 16 years old. And yeah, we got Immortalis rolling. That lasted a good 7 years. And then, we kind of ended things there. And then we started the band Auraborn, Devin, Alex, and I. And yeah, here we are. So yeah, that's I think all my old bands. I don't think I've been anything else.
Awesome. Yeah. What about you, Kieran?
Heirs of Humanity is the first band I've been in.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
First and only.
Yeah, dude. My guys, what? You're 3 years in?
Yeah, 3 years, about to be 4.
That's wild.
So, when did you start doing vocals? Because you're really fucking good, dude.
Thank you.
You
I
go
appreciate
crazy.
it. Thank you. 2 years ago, like I've always done vocals in, like your car and shit practice like that, but I was under pressure and I had to do vocals kind of last minute for shows, and I was like, well, it's either make or break. So I did it, and it just turned out. So I guess 2 years ago, I started doing vocals.
Fuck yeah. Looks like it's turned out pretty well for you so
Thank
far.
you.
Making it work.
You guys been fucking killing it. Like,
Thank you.
I saw you guys played at the rave with Carnifex and shit.
Mhm.
That was fucking sick.
That was
a really
amazing.
cool show.
That was fucking awesome.
Arguably, like I've been playing shows for like 14 years, and I would almost say that's probably my favorite show ever. It was really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited to open for you guys.
Dude, hell yeah. That is a sweet bill. Really excited to
Cool venue too.
great
That'll be a
venue.
fun night.
Like it's gonna be a homie fest. Like
Definitely.
Spencer and I have been working together for a really long time. Spencer from No Passenger Studio is also in the band Soul Shade, and we're gonna be playing with them for the first time, even though we've been coming up in the scene together for the last 2 years. And well, I guess I've only been in Airs for a year. But that said, the fact that this is the first time we're gonna be playing with Soul Shade is pretty cool.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to play with Soul Shade too, because you already know Spencer's been mastering our stuff.
Right,
So we've
yeah.
been talking for a while. So I'm excited to finally get to share the stage.
Dude, yeah, they
It's
rip.
gonna be fucking sick.
They are a treat to see live. And then we got Vacant Voice. And
Vacant Voice is going off too.
yeah, Tanzan.
I have Michael coming on Monday.
Nice. Dude, that's
That'll
awesome.
be fun. So Tyler White, is everything you put your hands on fucking gold, dude?
Dude.
Like
Thank you. That is,
Auraborn is fucking crazy, dude.
thank you, man. I very much appreciate that. Yeah. Auraborn took a really long time to write. Originally, as I stated earlier, Auraborn kind of was conceived from Immortalis kind of fizzling out. And we had a lot of material from Immortalis that, we were looking to use for an EP. And it was mostly fleshed out instrumentally. So some of what you hear on Incandescent is actually like old Immortalis material that never came to life with that band. And then, yeah, I guess I wouldn't say everything I touch is gold. There's a lot of stuff that I don't release, and I think that is what helps what I do release sound decent. I am not afraid to throw away a song that just doesn't work for me. And
Yeah.
Kieran's starting to experience that firsthand a little bit. Like, I am very
Anal retentive.
yes, thank you. Yeah, if something isn't up to snuff, I'm like, let's ditch it. Like,
High
why
standards.
are we, you'll waste a lot more time trying to, polish a turd than, just starting over, like coming up with a new idea and just letting it go. Like my flow state happens in a way where it's like, I already know if I start a song and I only get like an intro and a riff down, it's probably not going to come to life like I want it to. So I think it's just a matter of like starting to feel out what your own creative process is like, and like starting to see patterns in what works for you from a writing standpoint. Because for me, I'm just not afraid to scrap stuff that doesn't work. I'm totally down with, like, I have a million riffs in the bank that will never see the light of day, just like a Google Drive folder full of shit that just didn't work for me.
Do you ever,
and that's
do you
okay.
ever like revisit that if you're like in need of inspiration?
Dude,
or
yeah,
anything?
absolutely. And that's what's cool is like, I'll start a new idea and I'll be like, wait, this is kind of in the same key and tempo as this throwaway thing I did. And then you have another part and it just kind of works out that way. But yeah, I would say the only way to get better at writing is to write.
Yeah.
So I love writing. So it's, it's a good trade-off where you only get better if you do it. And I love to do it. So I keep doing it and kind of keep getting better, I think. So, yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. How did Errors become a band? Like, what's the origin story of Errors?
It was like 2019. I saw Signs of the Swarm in Chicago. And then I wanted to start a band, and I'm like, fuck, I can kind of play the guitar, and I want to start a band. So I was at this show in Chicago, saw Signs of the Swarm, reposted a photo I took that night, and some guy, like, messaged me, was like, yo, I'm in that photo, blah, blah, blah. And then we just kind of started talking and hit it off. And he lived in New Mexico at the time, lived in Chicago at the time, but he's from New Mexico. So then him and I just started talking. We're just going to do an internet thing, just like super infant annihilator-y, just impossible to play live kind of thing. But then, so when we recorded the first EP, he ended up being our original vocalist. I talked him into doing vocals from New Mexico at the time because he moved back to New Mexico. So that was 2020 through 2021, I'd say. And then I convinced him and his wife to move to Green Bay to live with me to do like live shows. So they ended up moving from Las Cruces, New Mexico to Green Bay, Wisconsin to live with me at my house with a fuck ton of cats. And they also had 5 cats. We had a fuck ton of cats under one roof. It was
That's
bad.
insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had 5 cats themselves.
Oh, wait, so now there's 10 cats? Or when that started, there's 10
fucking
cats?
cats,
Oh my
dude.
god.
That's really crazy. Did
just
you
kept a
guys
whole
have to like
sandbox.
keep the cats in like separate rooms?
Luckily, it was a pretty big house, and husband and wife, so they got like the big master bedroom, but they had like a secret door to like the entire sunroom, which was like the entire front half of the house. So the cats had like their little play area land there, and then my cats kind of roamed wherever. But all the cats were chill, so it wasn't really an issue. So, but yeah, 10 cats in a house would not recommend.
Yeah, I'm struggling with 2. I can't imagine.
Fuck.
So, who would you guys say are your biggest influences?
I would say right now is Carnifex,
Oh shit!
Crown Magnetar,
Stuff you guys got to play with. What are your biggest
yeah.
influences? Like,
Signs of the Swarm, which is cool because they made me want to start a band. Got to open up for them, so it's fucking cool. So I say Signs of the Swarm, Crown Magnetar for sure. And I love Peeling Flesh. Fucking love Peeling Flesh.
Gritty Slam.
Hell yeah.
For me, I'm kind of all over the board. I'm really big into like Era, The Contortionist. Those are probably my 2 favorite bands ever. Invent Animate, like a lot of that noodly kind of metalcore stuff I'm really into. Periphery is a big one. Also Crown Magnetar. Like Lorna Shore, really heavy deathcore stuff. It's kind of cool having 2 projects that are on different sides of the spectrum where I can do like a melodic thing and then like a crazy heavy thing. It's like, because I love all of those types of music, so it's nice to be able to have a little church in the state, separate them out a little bit. Immortalis was kind of a blend of like deathcore and metalcore, and we were like, well, we just like all this stuff, so let's do all of it. And now I've got a little more separation between the 2, so it's pretty cool.
fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar thing right now. Do you remember Vinny from Bad Lads?
Yeah.
Yeah, him and I are kind of working on like a little studio project.
Nice. Dude,
It's
Bad
like-
Lads is heavy as hell.
It's
I'm
not-
assuming
kinda-
it's going to be slammy, tough
Yeah,
guy
it's
shit.
slammy as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Fucking some crazy
hype.
shit. What kind of, like I was saying, your vocals are crazy. I'm curious what kind of techniques you're using. Because it sounds like you're making some crazy fucking noises, dude.
All inhales.
All inhales.
Yes.
Fuck.
You heard it here first on the Bretch podcast.
Yes.
Well, it's
All
actually
inhales.
the Midwest Slamcast.
Midwest Slam. Okay, sorry. That's my
I
bad.
was saying that. No, I fucking love that name. Before I got here, Slamcast. Fucking, I like it.
Got it.
I looked it up and I was like, yes, nobody has it yet.
Dude, yeah, that is a pretty tough name.
When did you, like, what age did you start playing guitar?
So I started playing when I was about 12. So I'm 28 now. I've been playing for about 16 years. Yeah, got into Metallica, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna start riffing. Like,
What was the song?
oh my god. So I guess like I really got into them based off like radio play and stuff like that. So like Enter Sandman comes to mind, but then I just went down the rabbit hole. Everything Metallica. I learned all about like their whole discography. I watched every Metallica documentary and like got all the lore. And
I find that's like a really common thread in like super fucking talented guitarists that they always are obsessed with. They like when they come up, they're always obsessed with Metallica.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I noticed that a lot amongst people I talk to as well. Where any fellow shredder that I chop it up with, they're like totally down to talk anything Metallica. I'm like, yes, let's talk fucking Justice and Puppets and all that shit. And yeah, it's fun.
When I came up, my dad was like more into the like he was more into like the classic rock
Hair metal
stuff.
shit.
Like he was like super into Led Zeppelin and stuff, so that's kind of more like what I came up on. A lot of the Led Zeppelin and like AC/DC and stuff like that. I definitely was a fan of Metallica, but I never really like dove headfirst into Metallica.
Yeah.
I probably should. One of these days,
Dude.
I should just go.
I'm telling you, and Justice for All still holds up. Like that album's super heavy and just like fast and dirty. That's my favorite Metallica record. But yeah, it's worth giving it a spin. But I feel you on like the whole hair metal, like classic rock thing. That was kind of I didn't even realize it was my into metal before I was into Metallica, because like my parents had it on the radio all the time, and you're just like, before you're into music is just kind of background noise. And yeah, over time I was just like, you know what, Motley Crue kind of fucks. And then, like, I saw them at AmFam Stadium I think it was last summer, when they came with Def Leppard and Joan Jett and Poison, dude. It was insane. The production value for like that level of talent is wild. Like actual arena rock, like they got massive screens fucking
Did
everywhere.
Vince Neil do better than his meme?
Dude,
videos.
I've heard a lot of shit about Motley Crue. For me, Def Leppard stole the show. They are just so dialed, like the vocal harmonies and everything were just so perfect.
That's the one with the drummer.
One-armed drummer guy. Yep. But yeah, Def Leppard stole the show, but I heard a lot about like, oh yeah, Motley Crue was miming stuff. And
Oh, really?
yeah, because apparently, their guitarist is not in great health. So he doesn't really have the means to like hold it down on stage anymore, which is valid. And then you got Vince Neil, who just kind of sucks ass now and did too many drugs and got fat. But sorry, Motley Crue, if you're watching this.
Do you guys remember what your first concert you went to was?
We were just talking about that on the way here. You go first.
Carnifex and After the Burial at the Rave.
That's wild.
What year was that?
What year? Fuck, I don't. Before 2017, 2018, maybe. I could be closer on there, but yeah. And it was
Full
fucking
circle.
Awesome. Yeah. I think it was the Acacia strain too. It's the most violent pit I've been in ever.
Mine was August Burns Red and Bring Me the Horizon. And that was, I think, 2014, 2013. So that was like before Bring Me the Horizon fucking took off. But it was literally at the basement stage at the Rave. And
that was your first concert?
Ever, yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
You guys never went to like any shows before that?
Dude,
Like, local shows
other than like local shows.
Yeah, I guess I've gone to like a lot of local shows. Growing up, even in high school for sure. But I guess bigger concerts, I guess was those ones at the Rave.
I didn't have a musically involved family. Did you have like parents
my
who were into
dad,
that shit?
my dad played drums and like just like a cover band and stuff growing up.
Yeah, I don't think I had ever been to like, other than like shit my cover band did.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think we played like one show. So that would have been the only other show.
My first show was Breaking Benjamin, and I think like the Xyz or something, and like I was in like 3rd grade.
That's wild.
Like that was at the
Damn, I hear a lot
That's
about like people with musical parents going to shows at like stupid young ages. I'm like,
That's
damn, I
cool.
kind of wish I had like, I can just picture little 5th grade chubby ass me if I could just holding it down in the middle of a heavy ass pit or something. Dude, I wanted to see Metallica so bad when I was in 6th grade, and my mom wouldn't let me go. I'll never forgive her.
Oh, Tina.
Tina.
Mom. You ever bring that up to her?
Every day of my
I'm
life.
going to now next time I see her.
Kieran will tell her what's
Tina,
what.
what the hell?
You guys got any like crazy like show or tour horror stories at all?
I was thinking about this, and you're in on this one, dude.
Oh, I am.
A horror story was the bar when the whole fucking PA system wasn't working.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when we were playing in West Dallas a couple months back with your band, Past His Prologue. Who else was on it? Knife Back. Us, Stay or Quiet Kind, I think was the entire bill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a bittersweet one because, you know, it was a shitty situation, but the way everybody kind of came together was like really cool because all of a sudden, okay, we're down a PA system. We need to play the show. Like, what are we going to do? So, sound guy, while he didn't do a fantastic job, and there's been a lot of talk about that whole ordeal, but he did do a good job running back to his crib and grabbing all that gear and bringing it to us. But the moment dude pulled up, all hands on deck, like every band is grabbing a speaker
Yeah.
and fucking rack shit. And that was cool, but it was also like, okay, this is fucked. Like, hopefully we can get this thing rolling. And yeah, the whole night was kind of a toughie after that, just trying to compensate for all the weird sound shit going on. But yeah, that was kind of a horror.
Luckily, I actually was like, I was just like a fill-in for Past His Prologue.
Oh, yeah.
But all those guys are like good friends of mine and stuff. But luckily, I just played the drums, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Right. Yep.
Fair.
Right there, did my thing, did my little tappy, and
That seems to be a drummer thing. You just play drums and do that. It's the hardest thing to do, honestly, I think.
That's valid.
Yeah, I can't drum for shit.
you have anything you want to add?
What was the question?
Horror stories.
Any show or tour horror stories?
Yeah. A fun / weird story was the vocalist of Exodia, Jake. He loves fireworks, so we'd be on tour like on the side of the highway, and he'd just like pull over, light a very illegal firework, 3 a.m. Boom,
Big
just-
fuckers, dude.
and we just take off, and I'm like, okay, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I'll wake your driver up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive it.
That was
we were,
fun
we
though.
were doing firework drive-bys, basically. But these were like fucking nukes. These things were
illegal.
Yeah,
Illegal.
they were weapons of
Like
mass destruction.
M80s or some shit like that.
It
You're
had to
saying
have been
words I
bigger
didn't
than
even
that
know.
because they were making absurdly loud noises and just like, yeah, those guys. Well, it's kind of cool. Like those guys are all, or not all of them, but I mean, Jake and Nick are straight edge sober, so I think they get their thrills from doing shit like that, which is cool. Like, good on you. I find that funny.
What was the process like writing the record you guys released earlier this year?
So, you're talking for errors? Yeah. That would be a Kieran question because, contrary to popular belief, I really didn't have a part in writing that. I came a little late in the game, so Kieran actually wrote pretty much all of it with Stacy, and I'll let him get into that.
Yeah. Most people be like, Tyler's fucking crazy. I'm like, oh, I know. But first and foremost, like, Tyler didn't write Testimony, but the new shit is everything Tyler touches is gold. I'll just say that. But
Aw.
I wrote Testimony with a producer at the time, Stacy. I was just writing random guitar riffs that that I thought sounded really heavy and good. And we still had our old vocalist James in the band at the time, but we were just working on the instrumental stuff. So throughout 6 months over the year of 2021, I want to say, summer of 2021, we just kept meeting up every morning, writing guitar riffs, and then got decent songs fleshed out. We had like 12 songs pretty much done and set, and then we started putting drums behind that. So that's what Testimony came to be, and then Dane joined the band around Testimony close to being done as well, so he came and put his little drum touches on Testimony. So yeah, Testimony is
your baby.
That's my baby.
I listened to it all the way through yesterday.
You like it?
It sounded great.
Nice.
I think my favorite one was Counting the Coop.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I also notably remember that one from live, when you guys play it live, because we're always like fucking...
Yeah.
Slams.
We got like a chain of metalheads going, just...
Dude, yeah, that was a thing at the Card Effect show too. We were like, there were a lot of people, which was really cool, but I think it was for Towers, right? Yeah, Towers of Human Skulls. Everybody like linked arms and like they were headbanging in sync, and
that was cool.
It was really sick.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool. I'm glad you like that one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's a fun one for sure.
It's a fun one.
I was at work just like stopping around. Everybody's like, "What the fuck's wrong with that?" Some fucking
Dope in his face.
So like, were there any like hurdles that you had to like overcome with that one at all?
Oh, pretty big one.
Yeah. So James was, like I said, James, who was from New Mexico. I convinced him and his wife, and they thankfully moved to Green Bay so we could do live shows. And we kind of did our thing, and because he had his, like, he would tell me if a guitar riff wasn't good enough or wasn't heavy enough, we'd scrap it. So he was there kind of just to tell me, be the objective critic, I guess. So then him and I did that, got Dane in the fucking mix. What was the question?
What were some hurdles you guys had?
Okay, yeah, we started talking. Oh, yeah, okay.
Here's your turn.
Yeah. So we were renting the house at the time. The landlord was going to sell the house, and Kira, his wife, and James, they got pregnant, and they wanted to move back to New Mexico to be with their family, which made total sense. But it was in the middle of writing the album, so it was just like, it sucks, but priorities are priorities 100%. So he ended up moving back, and then we finished the instrumentals to Testimony, and then we had lyrics to most of the songs, or pretty much all the songs. But then I just recorded the lyrics that we had for Testimony. But that's when Tyler came into the play. I recorded the vocals with Tyler at his studio.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that was a pretty quick process. I think we cranked him out in like a day and a half. My guy, dude, minimal editing. He was pretty grid tight. It was kind of wild. I just remember he's just like, run it. And we just do a massive chunk, and I'm looking through all the wave shit, and I'm like, all right, looks pretty fucking tight. Let's keep going. And yeah, day and a half, I think. And then, we came back and did some revision-y stuff and like layering and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty seamless.
Yeah. How many songs did you guys have to knock out at that point?
9.
Yeah. One was an instrumental.
So you guys did the whole record?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it done. I'm just like, because we wrote the album. Yeah, the album was done for like almost a year, and just the vocal part of James moving and getting that whole situation figured out was just like the process we had to go through. So yeah, it just took a long time, and I'm like, we can do this in a day. We'll get it done in a day. And
fuck yeah.
I wish I didn't, but it just makes me more excited for the new shit when I have I'm not rushing myself.
Dude,
I truly wouldn't have guessed that you did all those vocals in a day. That's
Nice.
pretty crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, we kind of had things mapped out, so that helps.
Yeah.
Like, James had most of the stuff recorded. And we did change things from what James did, but for the most part, it was pretty plug and play. Not to undermine my guy's incredible ability to track exactly on the grid. It's got that rhythm. It's wild, but yeah.
So, what's each of your favorite song on the record?
I think mine is Towers of Human Skulls. That is becoming my favorite one to play live. Like, it's got everything you need. It's got catchy riffs. It's got schlammy parts and a heavy ass end breakdown. It's pretty tough.
I love Honor Killing or Towers of Human Skulls. Between those two, for sure.
Nice.
Both dope songs. What was your favorite song on the Auraborn record?
Dude, that's like asking me to pick a kid. I grew very attached to that record just because, like, we worked on it for a really long time. I think I was writing Incandescent for like 4 or 5 years. But I would say my favorite one's probably Patterns. It's just, it's got all the stuff I like. It's got a little clean intro. It's got a ripper solo. It's got some fun riffs and a big chorus and some nutty breakdowns, a lot of post-production-y stuff, which I've been trying to get more into. Yeah, the Auraborn record was like a lot of post-production-y stuff, and I feel like Patterns did the best for that sort of thing. So probably that one.
So did you record all the guitars and stuff for the Eras record?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah. So I was actually gonna ask, so you produced both of the records basically?
So I did vocal production for Airs, and then Stacy Smyer, is it Smyer? Yeah. Stacy did all the mixing and mastering for the Testimony record. But yeah, I think it thought Smyer was me saying Siri, right? Okay. No, that's
Nice.
funny. Yeah, Stacy did all the mixing and mastering for Testimony, but Auraborn was all at No Passenger. So
it's you and Spencer working on that one?
pretty much, yeah. I was there like every step of the way. He did a lot of like the groundwork. Like I was there for all of tone selection. Like it was pretty collaborative for the most part, where I wanted to be very involved with like every aspect and just getting, good drum tones and guitar tone based on like getting tone dialed in particular. And then he kind of set up a lot of like the bus compression and just like overall session-y stuff. But after that, I kind of did all the automation and did some of my own EQ. And yeah, it became a very arduous process because like, I think we changed, like, I can't tell you how many versions we went through of like every song. It was crazy. Like we definitely, like, I was just, like Kieran said, very anal retentive and like got a little out of hand. And eventually you just kind of have to say, okay, do I want to fucking put this thing out or not? And like pull the trigger. It's like, okay, let's gain some perspective here and be like, either it's going to be good enough eventually, or you're just going to keep working on it and spinning your wheels. And I can't tell you how many times like I'd hear a revision, I'm like, God damn it, this is way worse than the last version. And I'm sure you're familiar with that sort of thing with mixing. It's just like you get so excited to print a mix and then you go out to your car and you're like, fuck, this sucks, like it's way worse. And yeah, I just got way too carried away. But I was like new to mixing, and that was Spencer and I talked a lot about the mental part of it, where he's just like, yeah, dude, don't fucking mix for 3 hours. Don't, make drastic changes when it's pretty good, and you would be fine just making a little nudge here and there EQ wise and get a lot further. Like usually the moves you need to make are far less drastic than you think they are. And that was a tough thing to learn, but yeah.
So how did you actually get involved with No Passenger?
Yeah, so I've been working with Spencer for like 11 years now. So the first Immortalis EP was recorded with Spencer back when No Passenger first became a thing. And he was still in school at UW Oshkosh, and I was like 17. So like I think we were all still in high school when we wanted to go do that EP. So I think it was around like Thanksgiving, we went and we tracked like a little 5-songer with Spencer. And yeah, he was pretty much like in terms of like the Fox Valley area, he was already the guy, and he was only like 22 or something like that. Like he, you know, he just knew metal, and not a lot of people knew how to mix metal without making it sound like butt rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was just the guy, and so yeah, went with him, did an EP, and then Immortalis did a full length after that, and then another full length after that, all with Spencer. And so, yeah, I've just been working with him for a really long time. And one day, so I moved down to Madison, where Spencer lives and where No Passenger is located, about 2 years ago. And a couple months into me moving down, like that was just to focus on finishing the Auraborn record. Like that was the primary goal. And just change of scenery too, I guess. But I remember like Spencer and I talked all the time, even prior, because we were just buds, you know, like we got along well, and I was always curious about what he was doing, and the same for him, whatever. But I just remember one day I was at work and I get a call from him, and he's like, dude, you got a second? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need help at the studio. We're trying to we're getting booked. Like I cannot do all of this by myself. Like I need a hand. And he was outsourcing a lot of the editing and stuff like that to Stacy, who did the Errors record. Like Spencer and Stacy worked very closely together for a while. But he's like, you know, like the file sharing thing is tough. And, you know, if we're working in the same session, things will be more smooth, cohesive, whatever. And I also need help with tracking. So that's how I got my start. Like I started doing a lot of the tracking for projects that we had booked. And from there, just started layering knowledge. And luckily I already had a little bit of a background in audio, just doing Immortalis stuff. Like prior to me moving down to Madison, Immortalis did like a single, and I did all of the recording remotely, and then we shipped it out. That was the one time we didn't work with Spencer. We ended up shipping stems to like a bigger producer guy. And so he knew I kind of had an idea of what was going on audio-wise. So, that's how that all kind of came to fruition. And here we are a couple years in, and we're starting to do some pretty cool stuff. It's
Making
fun.
fucking banging ass records, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very lucky to have the bands that we do come and trust us with stuff. And like, it's cool getting to work on all of these dope records. And just, I think what's even cooler is like Spencer and I are both in bands in the scene. So like we're constantly seeing these people that we've worked with directly, you know, and like getting to see people play their stuff live after like you've tracked it and you've seen how the sausage is made. Like it's pretty cool. Like fucking, I can think of like a million instances where I'm just like, my ears just a little extra perked up for this certain part, because I know like this is gonna be a bitch part. Good luck, buddy. You know, like give her hell. You know, it's funny stuff like that, and just like seeing how they recreate it live is really cool. But yeah,
Fucking shout out Surefire, they're killing it right now.
Dude,
That
Surefire's
Vapid
sick.
Soul single sounded dope.
Yeah.
Did you work on that one?
We did. I'm actually not entirely sure that the complex mix was the final that No Passenger did. So they're starting to take a little bit of their mixing into their own hands, I believe. But we did do, so they tracked that. Some of this Vapid stuff is getting a little older now. Like I know they tracked with Troy from Blasphemy Studios. I don't know if you know Troy Vanderhoff.
Not personally.
Yeah, he's from yonder up north somewhere. I think at like Wausau or something. Anyways, they tracked with him, and then we were doing some mixing. We mixed some of the earlier singles, but I think they might have done the most recent one themselves or through someone else. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that. But yeah, that is a banger. I did do DJ's feature on that with him though. DJ from Dead Awake.
Oh, really?
That's been
Dead
really
Awake.
fun. DJ's one of our really good friends. He's from Green Bay originally, and Kieran and DJ go way back, but
Before music.
I mean, like, even DJ and I kind of go a ways back because we've been playing in bands together for like 10 years at least. Well, maybe not at least, maybe like 8, whatever. Because he was in the band Conundrum before, and my old band used to play with them a bunch, whatever. But now we live in Madison together, and everybody and their brother wants a feature from DJ. So we have 2 of them. So I get to kind of be the DJ feature guy, which is cool because he'll come in and we'll fucking rip some stuff up, come up with some dope ideas. It's always a really good time because, yeah, we're just boys palling around and coming up with goofy ass shit, and some of it sucks, but most of it's pretty cool. But yeah.
We're seeing him tonight.
Yes, we will.
Seeing
We're gonna go
DJ.
see Soul Shade play in Madison in a very tight bar, which is gonna be cool. They're playing, you know, the band Pains?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're kind of one of those like whisper bands where it's like, I think they're quietly a big deal, and I think it's gonna be a nutty show. They're playing at a really small bar tonight. I think like Pains is like,
it's cool though.
I think they're like doomy tough guy shit, and it's just gonna be like an ass beater.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
Is there gonna be like trash cans in the pit and shit?
Steer
I
clear.
think-
Some Chicago shit. Chicago hardcore. They got like mattresses.
yeah, fucking
Flying.
yeah, just throwing whatever furniture they can find. We can make that happen.
Is there any cool like production techniques you've been stoked about lately that you've been?
Yeah, so I could go on about this shit. I don't want to give away the keys to the Lamborghini though, because there's some stuff that I'm sure Spencer would prefer. We didn't give away, I guess. Give people a reason to pay us to mix their shit.
Yeah, anything you're not comfortable with, you don't have to-
No, there's a couple. I'm sure he's fine with most of it. But one plugin we've been liking, have you heard of the OTT multiband compressor?
I don't think I have.
Yeah. So
OTT.
yeah. It's a Buster plugin. Buster Oda Home uses it. He was really gassing it up on some Instagram reel I saw, and I sent it to Spencer. I'm like, dude, because like the whole purpose of it is it kind of it's a master compressor, so basically just slams the shit out of the low end, gives a little brightness to the mix overall, and yeah, it's just when you hear Buster's mixes, like you can almost tell right away just because of how tight and like punchy the low end is. So we were like, we gotta get in on that. That dude does his shit. We've also been using Gullfoss a little bit.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's starting to come up.
It's kind of similar to Soothe, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a master EQ version.
I use Soothe
Yeah,
on everything pretty much.
I saw a funny meme the other day. It was, you ever see those memes where it's like, I'm doing my part. And then at the end, it's, I didn't fucking do shit. It was that, but it was like Gullfoss, Soothe, and what was the other plugin? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, and then it was like Ozone Mastering Assistant. And then the last thing was like the mixing engineer, and it's like, I didn't do shit, like, because these plugins do the fucking work for you. Like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, I think that shit's cool though. But yeah, I think aside from that, I really don't have a whole lot. Those are like our little hot topics as of late and stuff we've been talking about.
I've been wanting to check out the Gullfoss one.
Yeah.
I heard Nolly talk about it, and Nolly's like mixing Jesus.
Dude, yeah, for sure. Yeah, between Nolly and Buster, it's like, yeah, their word is the Bible for us, for sure. But like, yeah, a lot of these plugins just do so much now that it's like, it's getting scary, dude.
The AI is gonna start kicking in pretty soon.
We were talking about that last night.
Oh my god.
There'll be one tangent.
Yeah, dude.
Entire mix through, and it just sounds fucking perfect.
Right, yeah. It's like, okay, here's my tracks, turn it into a mix. Okay, you know, like, that's what it's going to be eventually. But what isn't AI going to take over, really, you know? I think I can pretty much do whatever the fuck I want. I don't want to get too grim here. That shit's kind of scary to think about.
What would you say is your favorite mix that you've done?
So I'm pretty green when it comes to mixing. I've done a lot of like my own pre-pro stuff, and that was kind of how I got my foot in the door. Spencer predominantly is like the mixing guy for No Passenger.
Yeah.
But I had a big hand in Auraborn, so I would say Auraborn for sure. That's like my baby through and through. But Blossom is a project. Do you remember Failed to Decay at all?
Yeah.
So their vocalist and the drummer are brothers, I believe, and they started Blossom, which is a black metal project, and they asked me to mix that. That was like my first commissioned mixing project, and it was black metal, so it was kind of like a challenge. Like, I'm not a black metal guy. Like, I don't really delve into that much, but it was kind of cool trying to see if I could make their shit sound like black metal to what I perceive it to be. You know what I mean? Because like I don't listen to it. So they said, okay, well, here's a band that we want to sound like. Can you do that? I'm like, I'll fucking try it. Let's do it. And they were happy with it, so that's cool. But yeah, those are like, I think the only 2 mixing projects I have out right now, but we're putting together a pretty nasty Errors single, and I'm working on mixing that, so I think that'll come together pretty nice. It's getting there, but
can't wait to hear it, man.
dude, yeah, we're pretty hyped.
You wanna show off your guitar? I know you got that Ernie Ball.
Crawl over there.
Tyler's such a guitar nerd. I love it.
That's a nice guitar, my friend.
Thank you, my man.
Is that one of the
Put it in
is that one of the
down
John
here.
Petrucci ones?
Yeah, this is JP Majesty. So, yeah, I believe this is 2017. Yeah, I've had this baby for a couple years now. Try to get
See you
it.
get in this one.
There we go. Hey. But yeah, this is my main weapon right now. I started off on the Ernie Ball Sterling. Sorry, I'm gonna put my headphones back on. But yeah, I'm like a huge Jason Richardson stan.
Yeah.
So
I can kind of tell.
Thank you. But yeah, I got into Ernie Ball because of him, and then I also got into Orange Calves because of him. But and then I also bought an Axe Effects because of him. Like, yeah, I just love everything he does. He's so sick. But yeah, now I rock this puppy and the Quad Cortex.
What are the pickups you got in there?
Yeah, they're just the stock
Okay.
Ernie Ball pickups. And what's nice about this, it's got a lot of configuration stuff going on. So you got your typical 3-way pickup selector, but then you also have a piezo. So if I flip this all the way up, you got the piezo here, which I used a little bit on the Auraborn record for, I think, just the clean part in Incandescent, and I also use it for a clean part in Epic.
So I'm. Oh, by the way, you want to know something funny?
Yes.
We actually have a song named Epic.
Oh, really? Like
It
the
was
same?
like you guys. It was. We were like halfway through writing it, and then you guys dropped that, and I was like,
Got him. Yeah, I actually snuck into your house and I saw your little Zeal board of things that are completed. I was like, I'm stealing that fucking name. Fuck Ryan.
I'll have to show you after we're done.
That's funny. But yeah.
But I was actually gonna say too. I'm not as much of a guitar nerd. What is a piezo?
Yeah, so essentially what a piezo is, you can kind of see it right next to the neck pickup there. It's basically a microphone. So I know a little bit about pickups, but like the difference between a piezo and pickup is like a piezo is an actual microphone, and the like tonality of it makes it sound kind of like an acoustic. So you can turn an electric guitar into an acoustic. So Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, not exactly, but it definitely gives it more of like a steel stringy kind of sound, which is cool. But yeah.
What's the scale?
I believe it's a 24 and a half. I should have looked up the specs. I totally spaced doing my little show and tell here, but I think it's 24 and a half. What else can I get into about this? I don't have the trem on there right now, but it does have a trem, and it rips. Yeah, but yeah, I really like the finish on it. It's Arctic Noir. It's kind of like a iridescent finish, so it's like purple in certain light and green in certain light. Aside from that,
Anytime I see those, I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, dude, it is such a cool
The one that I'm like really like dreaming about right now is the Strandberg Prague 7.
I don't think I've seen that.
One of the lighter blue ones.
Nice.
It's yeah.
Dude, Strandberg's fuck. If I wasn't playing Ernie Ball, I'd probably play Strandberg. Top 3 Ernie Ball.
You know Tanzan?
Yeah.
He's got Strandbergs. He's actually has the one that I want, and I saw him playing it last time I saw them, and I was just like, oh.
Hell yeah, dude.
I want that guitar.
They're so fucking nice. The rhythm guitarist of Auraborn, he has a Strandberg, and sometimes I'm like, shit, did I make the wrong choice? But like,
So is Auraborn gonna play shows?
oh, that's the hot question. Yeah, I think next year we're gonna be
Okay, good shit. Because like, you guys are gonna go crazy if you do that.
Thank
like,
you so much.
Honestly, like you guys, I could see you guys landing like a fucking era tour or something.
Dude, chill on that. Oh my god, I would.
Like, you guys are crazy, dude.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was actually my buddy at work. I was like showing him your guys' stuff today. I showed him what's the first one you guys released a video for?
Identity.
Identity. I showed him that one because I fuck with that one. I think that one's my favorite on the record.
That's cool.
I showed him that one. And I was like, yeah, these guys aren't even playing shows. And he's like, what? Why? And I remember you telling me when we played, like, it was something, your bassist lives in California.
Yes, that is exactly right. So, Gage got involved with Auraborn after he had already moved. He had been living in San Diego for a couple of years, I think. But we met. He used to play in a band called Growing. I don't know if you remember them. He was just always so incredible live. He's a fucking amazing, clean vocalist, and he definitely did a sick job on the record. So shout out Gage, that's my boy. But we were like, we'll figure out the logistics later. Like, if we only play shows once in a while, like, my goal when putting Auraborn together was just like, let's make the best record with the best people possible. And like, I think we did about as good a job as we could have. Like, I'm very glad that I was able to round up the group that I did. Like, I'm very lucky to have best friends that are super sick in Alex and Devin. Devin is probably one of the most underrated drummers in the Midwest. I think he's really, really good. And, you know, back in the Immortalis days, he got to flex his muscles a little bit because we had some pretty crazy shit. But that said, where was I? Oh, yeah. So in terms of playing shows, like, it's difficult because Gage is in San Diego, obviously. But sounds like I don't want to put the carriage before the horse here, so to speak. Is that something people say? Sounds like a phrase.
We'll knock on wood. We'll just knock on wood.
When in Rome. Yeah, it sounds like he might be coming up this way for a substantial amount of time. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's looking like Auraborn shows are going to be more of a possibility. But yeah, as of right now, it also happened at such a shitty time, but like, wow, this sounds terrible. Like, all of a sudden, my vocalist and my drummer started having kids and shit, and it was like right smack dab in the middle of writing the Auraborn record. So all of a sudden, Devin came to me. He's like, yeah, so I'm gonna be having a kid. I'm like, okay, well, let's get this thing wrapped up. And then like 2 months later, Mike's like, hey, I'm having a kid. I'm like, yeah, guys. Just kidding. No, I am very happy for them both. But it was like, okay, well, let's race the clock a little bit then and try to get this thing done before you're in full dad mode. So, yeah, but now they have little toddlers, and that makes the show playing thing just a little more difficult. But priorities, yeah,
For
I
sure.
respect them. But yeah, we'll get her. I'm hoping next year we get a couple shows in at least.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. I would go out for sure.
Fuck yeah,
That'd
appreciate
be
that.
dope.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, guys. So I guess this is my kind of like wrap up question. Basically, if you could go back in time to when you started, like, whether it be like when you started doing the Errors project, or just when you started playing guitar, and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Kieran, go first.
Don't overthink shit. Like, just have fun and just have fun and don't overthink shit.
Dude.
And in terms, like, is there anything like in particular that you shouldn't overthink?
Personally, as a vocalist, I would just literally just worry about sounding good, because it was my first time, but it's just, even if it is your first time, literally just have fun, because if you have fun, you're not going to be stressed out. And if not stressed out, you're going to have a good show. And at first I was over worried, and because I do inhales, like I used to go extra hard and fucked up my lungs and ended up in the hospital one time, and just like wanted to force it, and just don't do too much and have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very similar answer. Like, used to put a lot of pressure on myself early on. Like, you know, it's not so much about the destination as it is about the journey. And it's like, that's what you kind of lose sight of when you're coming up in the local scene. I mean, I feel like I enjoyed a lot of big opportunities less than I should have, because I was so focused on like climbing the ladder and like reaching the next rung and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely just take stock of where you're at and be present, I would say.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Being present in the moment and shit, like enjoying
Enjoy
shit.
where you're at, because that's the whole point. Like, if you're not having fun, why the fuck are you even doing it? You're not doing it to make money, probably.
Honestly, too, like if you're concerned about your like performance, and you're like stressing out hard about your performance, like that's probably gonna make you fuck up more.
Sure. It's
100%.
yeah,
Like
you have to
you
go.
gotta just like you give yourself like faculty in that you practice this stuff, like
Yeah.
you should just go out there and like have fun.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna resonate more with people too, is if you're having fun, you know.
Dude, the energy transfer is a very real thing. It's like, if you're
For sure.
like tense and pissy looking, like people are gonna be like, oh fuck that guy. You know.
If you got it kind of works for you.
Okay, I guess.
When you're not on stage,
Yeah.
don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't walk around looking grumpy like you're cool or you don't want to
Yeah,
talk to
for sure.
anyone.
There is that. But no, speaking of Gage in San Diego, when I was in San Diego a couple summers ago, I was visiting Gage to track for the Auraborn record, because we had done a good chunk of the record with clean vocals. I think it was like the winter of 2021. And we also recorded the Auraborn Identity music video with Gage. And we did that in like a weekend, but there was still some stuff left to do, like some recording. So I flew out to San Diego and I tracked Gage. And while we were out there, we were hanging out in his rehearsal space. And it's cool out there because like the neighbors will like come over and like, they're like, hey, you want to just jam quick? And you'll just rip an impromptu like little jam sesh. Like, they've got their whole studio block and everybody's very easygoing. And we ended up jamming with this drummer who was like 70 something. And he imparted a little wisdom. Like, he had played with some of the like biggest bands of like the 60s and 70s and stuff. And he was just like, dude, when you get on stage, your mentality has to be like, I am the best musician here. Like, I am the best at my instrument. And like, just, you can't falter on that. It's just like, I am the fucking man. Like, you have to just totally dial in and be like, yep, nobody's got shit on me. Like, I'm about to nail this shit. Like, it's all mental. Because if you put in the reps and you know you're capable of playing your shit, then what's after that? It's like all mental. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was some good shit.
Tyler's
yeah,
always dropping wisdom. Tyler's always dropping some
Just
knowledge.
rambling.
Well, thanks again for doing this, guys.
Dude,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
us,
much
dude.
for having us. This was
Hell
an
yeah.
awesome time.
Yeah,
I'm excited to play with you too.
Huh?
Excited to play with you. For
Yeah,
sure.
dude, it's gonna be fucking. I can't wait for
Oh,
that
dude.
one.
January
13th. Yep. X-Ray Arcade.
Bang.
See you there. This should be out before then, so
Hell
this will
yeah.
be like perfect like promotion for the.
Dude, yeah, it's a good lineup for it.
Hell yeah.
Not you missed it.
Yeah. Buy tickets now. All right.